Is this thermostat still the best one out there for a smart thermostat for your home? I believe so, but it kind of needs something else to make it work really good. The Ecobee home thermostat is a great solution for anybody looking for a smart thermostat for their home. It comes with the settings for home, sleep, and away is kind of the default for setting the temperature for whatever you like it set at. And it kind of does that pretty well. However, if you're going to put this thing in your home, I've had it running now for a couple of years and I've found I don't like it on those settings just alone because our schedule is so variable. So what I've ended up doing is I've actually paired it up with Hubitat, and Hubitat runs this sensor or the thermostat in our house and the temperatures based on whatever our occupancy for the home is. Now this might sound quite daunting for somebody that's just starting out with this, but I wouldn't be too overwhelmed. The cost up front is going to be a little bit. The thermostat is going to run you probably, I think it's $200 or $250 right now is the current price of it. And the Hubitat right now is going on for about $150. So the two together make a really good combo at setting the temperature in your home for whatever you want. Now, the easy way to do this is to just try to find out what those things are in your daily routine that you do that make you want that thermostat temperature in a certain range. For us, when we sleep, that's probably the biggest one because there's quite a few functions that happen aside from the cooler temperature on the thermostat. But I've just put in a smart switch into this room, and that's let me easily control the temperature that sets down. And if this room gets a little stale with air quality, air temperature, more than like a half a degree between the other zones in the home, I'll take and I'll run the furnace fan just to kind of circulate the air throughout the house. If you're going to set this thing up, you're going to also need some smart sensors. Now you can buy the Ecobee. I think it comes with 2 by default, but we've added several more throughout the house, and that lets us really know what the temperature ranges are. So for example, as you can see, the room that I'm in right now is pretty well lit. In fact, if I turn around, you can see the master's got 2 big windows in it, and the other part of our home also has some big south-facing windows. So as you can imagine, as soon as the sun comes out, the upstairs in this place gets really cooking. That's another function of the multi-sensors. I can very quickly with Hubitat integrate into and talk to those sensors and run the furnace fan to circulate that temperature to even out all the zones throughout the house. So do I believe that this is the best thermostat that's out there? I think right now it definitely is. I've had the Nest in the house before, and that didn't quite cut it for me. That being said, the Ecobee just on its own, I don't think is the complete solution either, and there's definitely improvements that they could make to make that a better thermostat. Integrating it with the smart home has really been the solution for me. Now, I know there's probably users out there that are thinking, go with the Life 360, add that in, and use geofencing. I haven't tried Life 360, so I'm not quite sure how well that would work. But I can tell you the geofencing that I did try initially without Life 360 was not the solution for us. It definitely could be depending on how much you have your temperature going up and down. But I found it was just behind. It wasn't as accurate as kind of the way I have it set up now. It's very easy for me now to have a home switch, just immediately turn the temperature to what I want based on the occupancy, based on those sensors that I pointed out earlier. Some of the other perks that I really like about this thermostat is you can very easily customize exactly what you want for your heating and your cooling. We have a stage 2 furnace in our home, so it's very easy for me to set that up inside of the menu inside of Ecobee and set that staging parameter to whatever I want. So stage 2 actually almost never runs, which saves us energy as far as gas charges go and electricity for running the furnace. It does the same for cooling. You can do cooling with 2 stages, multiple stages as well. I do believe I don't have that set up because we only have one AC unit in our home. It's a central cooling system, and that kind of runs everything based on a temperature. Another feature that I like is the zones. You can customize what zones do what. So we've got a total of 5 sensors. The unit itself is a sensor, and then I've got the 4 smart sensors packed throughout the home. You can select which of those sensors you want the thermostat to be adjusting to. So let's say you set 20 degrees Celsius or 78 Fahrenheit. It's 78, 72 probably Fahrenheit, somewhere around that vicinity. For a certain sensor, let's say we're watching a movie and that's the temperature that we want in here. It will respect and follow only that sensor if that's the way you have it set. Alternatively, you can set it to always take and balance the entire home. So you could set 20 degrees Celsius for the entire home, based on every single sensor, and then use something like Hubitat to run the furnace fan to circulate to maintain that same temperature throughout the house. So that's kind of nice, but you do need the Hubitat for that as well. Now, if there's future improvements on this device, things I'd like to see is being able to kind of tie those automations together even a bit better. And to be honest, it's probably not far away from like a Zigbee thermostat coming out there and doing that for you. However, I don't think that there's an option right now in Hubitat to do multi-staging with thermostats or furnaces. I'm not quite sure about that. Definitely one feature I would like to see built in this thermostat, and I think that it should be inside the thermostat, I shouldn't need a hub to do, is the option of using the furnace fan to circulate to maintain or even out temperatures throughout the home. I'm sure there's a lot of people in my similar situation that would appreciate that. So why that's not in a thermostat, I don't know. I really don't. Like if the basement's cooler and the upstairs is warmer, but the net temperature ends up being what you want, 22 maybe upstairs and 18 here, why not run the furnace fan and balance it out? So I'm not sure why they haven't included some kind of a temperature balancing feature in there. Anyway, that's one of the things I think should be inside of the Ecobee. I recently did take a look online to see if there were other thermostats out there. I'm a big fan right now of the Zigbee thermostats I've got 2 of them running my floor heat in both the kitchen and the bathroom. I'm a really big fan of those and how fast they integrate and how little data they use on my Hubitat hub. So if somewhere down the line somebody makes one of those, I would be really happy to explore that option. That being said, right now, anything that I have looked at, and I have spent some pretty good time researching thermostats online to see if there's something better out there, I haven't found anything better. The combo that I have right now working for me does everything that I want really well. The only probably downside to the current setup is, like I said, the Ecobee is Wi-Fi. That does connect up to the Hubitat, and it does use a pretty good chunk of resources on the hub versus any of the Zigbee protocol stuff. That being said, I have a lot of automations running and everything runs just fine the way it is. So streamlining, maybe that's me just being nitpicky, I don't know. You be the judge. If you are looking for a smart thermostat in 2023, that's probably still the best option is the Ecobee. It does also integrate with Alexa. I've never used that, never set it up. It does integrate with Google Home. Haven't used that, haven't needed to use that as well. The only way I use it, if I want to make tweaks on temperature or whatever, is just pull out the smartphone and I log into the Hubitat and I'll do the changes through there. You can also use the Ecobee app anywhere on your smartphone as well. You don't need to have Hubitat. If you did buy this unit, just the Ecobee without the Hubitat, I think probably 95% of the people are going to be happy with it. If you want more flexibility and control and you want to really even out the temperature and like things set a certain way in your home, the multiple sensors and the Hubitat, pair those two up, those 2 devices just seem to work really well together. Hopefully this was helpful. That's my update on the Ecobee. Like I said, it's been about 2 years in there. If you do have an Ecobee running in your home and you'd like to share some of your own personal feedback on your experience on how this device has worked for you, Leave in the comments down below, help other users pick out kind of their own devices for their home, giving them the most complete information.